What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Summit Talk. I'm your host, Ethan Collins. And man, I'm stoked for what we're going to share about today. Today's episode, this is episode number 4. This is for somebody who feels like you're stuck in your relationship. Okay, not necessarily fighting, not necessarily falling apart, although if both of those things are happening, this might be helpful for you too still. Um, but yeah, not necessarily fighting, not necessarily falling apart, but not growing either. Something that seems stagnant. You love your spouse, you love your kids, you care about your friends, right? But if you're honest, you feel like you keep hitting a wall. Like you're doing life together, but you're not deeply connected. You're in the same house, but not the same space. You're talking, but not really seeing each other. If that's you, this episode might change your relationships, hopefully forever. Because today we're going to talk about a principle that's really simple. So simple, most people just forget about it. It's something that we grow up learning in elementary school. We learn it in college, but we forget really quickly because life gets monotonous or whatever it might be, work or business or kids, anyways. The concept is this: it's super super simple, and you know this, but nothing grows without nourishment. When you look at your life, how many things can you honestly say grew because you forgot about it? I mean, everything that I can think of, short of like investments and compounding interest, everything kind of just grows on its own. So, to kick off this podcast, I want to start with this. I want you to imagine something with me. I want you to imagine a plant. Like picture that plant in your mind. It doesn't matter if it's like an apple tree or like an orange tree, um, or a freaking tomato plant. It doesn't matter. But imagine that plant. If you don't water that plant, it dies. Simple. But let me ask you, what if you only watered it on Valentine's Day? Or on its birthday? Or when you remembered? You see where I'm going with this? That plant is dead, dude. Like that thing is gone. Very few plants survive on occasional attention. And it's like a cactus is the only thing, right? And it's symbolic of the cactus because that thing's going to spike you and it hurts. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people treat their relationships exactly like that plant. We water them on anniversaries, on vacations, emergencies. When something goes wrong, a quick, let me get some flowers or let me get you whatever. But day to day, we assume these relationships are just going to keep growing. But the truth of the matter is, they don't grow on accident, they grow by nourishment. So maybe the reason you feel stuck, the conversations feel surface level, like your intimacy feels dull. It's not because something is broken, it's because something's dry. Nothing grows without nourishment. And the nourishment I'm talking about today is one word. But before I say it, let me describe it. See if you can guess it. It's giving when it costs you. It's offering attention when you're exhausted and tired. It's making space when you're busy. It's investing when there's no immediate return. The word is generosity. And I don't just mean like money. I mean generosity with your time, generosity with your attention, generosity with your effort. Look, yeah, sometimes generosity with your resources too, but you don't need millions of dollars to live generously. You need a heart that's open. The cool thing is, science backs this up. Your brain was actually designed for this. When you give, your brain lights up with activity. Research shows acts of generosity releases endorphins, dopamine. They call it, quote unquote, the helper's high. Um, if you're familiar with the stress hormone, it's called cortisol. People who consistently give actually have lower blood pressure. It's crazy stuff how it's all tied together like this. Um, People who consistently give have a stronger immune response. They have lower rates of stress related illness, uh, even increased longevity in long term volunteer studies, right? So think about that. Your body was wired to give. Psychologically, it even increases self esteem, life satisfaction, happiness. Here's the kicker: studies show spending money on other people brings more happiness than spending it on yourself. You were designed to pour out, not to hoard. I'm going to say that again. You were designed to pour out, not to hoard. Again, not just financially, but emotionally. So if you feel drained, stuck, and disconnected, it might not be because you're given too much. Might be because you're just not giving in the right ways. So if we're going to break it out practically, we've got three currencies. We all have three currencies: time, attention, and yes, wealth. Let's break them down. So starting with time, time is your most valuable currency. It's not something you can get back. So the question becomes, what does generosity with time look like? It's 20 undistracted minutes with your spouse. Phones down, eye contact, no like multitasking. It's sitting on the floor with your kids, playing Legos with them, grabbing coffee with a friend, and actually listening, not like waiting for them to get done talking so you can just interrupt them with something else. It's not scrolling while they talk. It's not checking notifications, quickly looking at your watch every 15 minutes to see how much more time you have. It's just being there. We say we don't have time, but the truth, we don't prioritize it. You don't find time. Like, there's not all these people that are able to do this well that are like, oh, yeah, I got an extra hour today and I got 3 extra hours because I just am so good at planning. My day had 28 hours. No, we all have the same 24 hours. There's no excuses for this. You don't find extra time, you make time. So if your marriage feels distant and your friendships feel shallow, be really honest with yourself. And I know this is like a little harsh, but I'm just being real with you because, man, this is going to make both of us better if we're just honest. If we ask ourselves, when was the last time I gave uninterrupted time? Not leftover time, intentional time. Nothing grows without nourishment. So we talked about time. The second currency or resource we have is attention and effort. This one's huge. You can be in the room and still be absent. Attention is emotional investment. It's meaningful presence. It's asking one more question. It's listening without fixing. Speaking to myself here. Hello. If my wife could talk on this right now, she's screaming from the rooftops, "Man, just listen. Quit trying to fix all my problems. Just hear me." um, but attention is emotional investment. It's also it's remembering what they said mattered to them. As a husband, I'm going to say this as clear as I can. Attention is love. When your spouse feels seen, they feel safe. When they feel safe, they open up. When they open up, connection deepens and connection grows. Like, really practically, you invest into what you care about. Stop treating your wife like she's never going anywhere. Remember when you were dating, how hard you worked to earn her affection? You invested into it because you cared about it. And the trap that so many men fall into is that once you're both wearing the ring on your finger every day, you stop investing into it. But the truth is, you invest into what you care about. You water a plant because you want it to grow. Effort is water. Effort is sunlight. Effort is nourishment. You don't drift into deep connection. Oops, accidentally built the best marriage on the planet of Earth. Like, whoa, my bad. You build that deep connection that you want. If you're longing for deep connection with your spouse, do something about it. Stop just hoping things are going to improve overnight. So we talked about attention and effort. The third currency we have is wealth. This isn't about how much money you make. It's about posture. Buying coffee for someone, supporting someone's dream, giving when it stretches you. But here's the truth. Money without time feels transactional. Money without attention feels hollow. Most powerful giving combines heart with action. But let's flip it. There's a cost to being frugal. What happens if you're frugal with your time and your attention and your effort, your money? Isolation. Surface level relationships. A marriage that survives but doesn't thrive. Friendships fade, opportunities pass, even at work. Relationships drive income. I'm going to say that again. Even at work, relationships drive income. People do business with people they trust. In my business, I'm in sales. And so people, everybody in sales know this. People buy from people they like, people they trust, and people they know. So if you're relationally closed off, it's actually costing you. Are your relationships just going to accidentally grow, or are they waiting on nourishment? We try to quote unquote save time, but what are you saving it for? What's it for? You can save money, you can save time, but you cannot save connection. If we're going to look at it from the perspective of Scripture, the Bible speaks to this principle constantly. In the book of Acts, it says, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." In the book of Matthew, it says, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." In Proverbs, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Notice the pattern. When you refresh others, you are refreshed. This isn't just a moral teaching. It's God's design. You become what you repeatedly give. If you give attention, guess what? You become attentive. If you give love, you become loving. If you give grace, you become gracious. But if you withhold, you shrink. And if you listen to this, I can hear it right now. Some of you are hearing this and you're saying, "I don't have anything left, Ethan. I'm exhausted. Ethan, I'm busy. I'm stretched too thin. I don't have anything more to give." Maybe you're right. You probably don't. You're probably tapped out. I get it. It's busy. Life is hard, which means something has to give. If you don't have time, something is stealing it. If you don't have emotional capacity, something is draining it. As we mentioned before, we all have the same 24 hours. If you don't have time or the capacity, something is taking it from you. Is it scroll time, mindless commitments, low return activities, TV? I know some of y'all are on Instagram too much. You got to delete TikTok off your phone. We talked before with Noah when we were talking about just put the cell phone down when you get home. Challenge yourself to just throw that phone in the drawer. Don't even look at it. But you don't magically get more to give. You create margin. And then you pour intentionally. So one of the things I like to do is I like to give you all a challenge. This is our 7-day nourishment challenge, and here's what I want you to do. For the next 7 days, if you actually care about your relationships and you actually want them to grow, if you're listening to this and you're like, Ethan, you know what? I feel like my relationships are fine. And go ahead, just keep doing what you're doing. But if you aren't 100% satisfied with how your relationships are going as it is, I'd encourage you to try this challenge. And I dare you to find a relationship that doesn't grow from this. So here's what I want you to do. The next 7 days, this is super simple. Just give 20 minutes of undistracted time daily to someone who matters. I want you to think about each morning while you're drinking your coffee before work. Who am I going to give time to today? What helped me sometimes is to write it down on a piece of paper, make a list of all the relationships that I wanted to cultivate. And I would reach out to that person. You can pray for them. You can offer one intentional compliment each day for that person. And what I mean by this, like when I say intentional compliment, like I don't just mean like when you get home from work, say, "Hey babe, you look pretty," and then call it a day. Like that's not it. What I mean is when you wake up in the morning, I want you to sit down and I want you to think about the person. And I want you to find something that you actually really appreciate about them. For example, if it's your best friend, you might text them, "Hey man, I'm grateful for all the seasons that we've been through. That when we went through X, Y, or Z, you were not only available, but you were present with us through that." This isn't hard stuff, right? But yeah, so the 7-day nourishment challenge for the next 7 days, give 20 minutes of undistracted time every day to someone who matters. Offer one intentional compliment each day. I want you to try to do one small, unexpected act of financial kindness this week, like buy somebody a coffee, a stranger or a friend. Pay for somebody's groceries if you can do that. And ask one deeper question per day. That's it. Water the plant daily. Watch what grows. In closing, your relationships aren't stuck. They're thirsty. Nothing grows without nourishment. So I'm going to leave you with this question. What are you watering? What are you hoping will grow? There's a Greek word. It's called oikos. You might be familiar with the yogurt. It's Oikos. It's pronounced oikos. All it means is your circle of influence or sphere of influence. And in ministry training, we're taught to draw an oikos circle. So essentially, you draw your name in the middle of a circle, and then your oikos are people you feel are impactful to you and vice versa. So, for example, you might write your spouse, your kids, mom, dad, maybe, your best, closest friends, maybe your best, like closest coworkers, the people you talk to the most, the people you spend the most time with. Most of the time, those are the relationships you're going to want to grow. And so it doesn't hurt to write them down on a piece of paper and just look at each person and say, what can I do that would be impactful for each person on this list? How can I grow the people that are within my oikos? Anyways, I hope this was helpful for you. If you feel that this episode helped you, I'd really encourage you, please, if you don't mind, share it with somebody who needs it. And remember, growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens by intention. So let's grow together. Let's invest in our relationships and see a plentiful return and live happier lives all around. I appreciate your time and your attention listening to Summit Talk. Thank you so much, and I will see you at the next episode.